Okay, so we've got an AI skeleton review. Now these lines that you see on the screen, that track my body, they're basically put there by AI. So I haven't actually moved or maneuvered these at all. So they sort of track, they're pretty good. And we'll take a look at the best components or the things that really make a difference. And what those are going to be just quickly is you're going to have forward body drive. We'll look at your follow through, we'll look at your left hand, and we'll look at body turn prior to strike. Now they're in funny orders and I've done that deliberately because I can put arrows on this side of the body for body strike and all that sort of gear, so that's why they're in funny strange places. But let's have a look at it and check out your skeleton AI review for a backhand punch drive. Okay, so we're looking at our prep, our body turn prior to strike. We see we take our racket back, a left hand is stable, and you see the dots, they track pretty well, so it's not too bad. So the first thing we want to look at is your shoulders. Now your shoulder prep, and everything goes all the way. This is the two shoulder lines here, so I'm saying this is pretty much the line, so it's straight across this green line here. Alright, so we're saying that our shoulders basically point. Now what that does is a few things that happen. You've got your feet that go this way, and what that does is just prior stored energy. In other words, because your shoulders are back this way, you're basically getting all this area here prior to strike. So your core muscles, these muscles here, or your stomach muscles, they're all doing the work. And your hips and your lower body is going to be doing the work. So all this area through your core is going to be doing the work this way. And that is just really beneficial because it actually allows your body to strike the ball instead of your arms. Now if we watch and we go through, when we strike, there's your strike, so we're calling this strike. And the reason I've got that line that comes in a bit early is because there was no frame, but never mind. Okay, so when we strike, so this is we're calling that strikes, let's say there. So we've got these lines here, so we've got this line here and we've got this line here. So we've gone all the way around here, 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 here with shoulder turn and body turn. So basically what happens is your shoulders were facing this way and now they're facing this way. So all that movement there has happened prior to strike. So I could go back one click there. So this is prior to strike. It's the best way to, it looks a bit easier to understand prior to strike. So shoulders and body turn has done most of the work. Arm has come through just simply to get connection to the ball. Now you do move your arm and you do swing your arm and everything as well, but it's not this real drive of your arm towards the front wall that hits the ball. It's not the way it works. So you get your core muscles active, your core muscles through the ball, and everything gets really, really good. So we're basically looking at all the work is done prepping in your body, and so you can store power and then you unwind prior to forward arm swing. So there's when I talk forward arm swing, there's been a little bit of forward arm swing, and so the arm's through to here, so my wrist has gone from here to here. So if we talk about arm swing, it's really only from wrist would have come from here to here, so it's not a lot. It is a connection thing required and all the rest of it, and yes, you pick up power from your arm speed and everything, and your wrist and everything as well, but it's the body, the one that does the work. If you do this, if you get your core active, then everything changes for you. It's pretty phenomenal. It's just a wonderful thing. Let's have a look at the results of the rest of the swing. So on follow through, we're going to call that finished there. Okay, so the body turn, and this is the interesting one, the body turn, I'll keep that pink color. The body turn here is only gone from there to there after strike. So this happened, all this here happened before strike, and this happened after strike. So the shoulders hardly turned at all. So basically this is prior work here, and this is after striking the ball, body turn. That's it, full stop. So it's pretty much, if you can do this, then you get it right. And when you get it wrong, and when it all changes, is not wrong necessarily, but what happens is if you step across towards the front wall, towards the side wall, so if you step across this way, so that foot had stepped across this way, then it actually changes what you can do with your body, and you end up following through more. So you get more follow through motion. So your feet will affect just how much you step and which direction you step, as in how much core you can put into the ball, core muscle hit prior to striking. So if you step across the side wall, you'll have to use more arm and body turn late to get through the ball, but that's just part of it. That's why we try and have an open stance. So the open stance this way is very, very, very beneficial to activating your core through the ball. So the more you can open stance, the better it is. There you go. That's your body prep and storing energy prior to striking. Okay, we're going to look at your forward body drive. Now I've got different lines on the screen this time. Okay, so I've got those orange lines, and they are there to show this is when I get forward body drive. So now the prep's just about finished. So I'll put an orange line, which is this one here, this orange line here, in line with the center of my head, or the front of my face if you like. So if we go and check out what happens, so as we strike, you move forward, 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 forward. Now forward is not toward the side wall, forward is towards the front wall. So that's on strike. We're calling that strike. I can click one more if you like, because it goes through. So on strike, or even we'll go prior to strike, basically you've moved half that distance, or a bit over half that distance that we'll finish up with, which you'll see the finish line, and we'll follow it through. And it goes through to there. So forward body drive is in the direction that you're striking the ball. So what we want to understand is that forward body drive is this way. So it's not stepping this way. All right, I'll get rid of that color. I'll change the color. It's not stepping this way and then trying to hit that way. All right, so the more you can step this way, I'll go and change the color of that one too again. The more you can step this way, that way, which is the same direction as your strike, the better off you are. That gives you forward body drive. So it's a real problem when you're stepping to the side wall and your lower back has to do a lot of work if you step to the side wall and then try and drive your body towards the front wall. You can do it. You've got to get your hips driving through the ball and everything as well, and it makes it a little bit more difficult. But the more you can open your stance, the easier it is to get a real quality direction through the ball. It really makes a difference. So there you go. That's your forward body drive. We'll just have one quick look at that one again. I'll just get rid of those, and we'll have a look. So here, body is back, and then you drive through. Keep moving forward, strike the ball, and you keep moving through the ball, and it's just all that simple. Okay, we're going to take a look at your left hand. Now, it's one of the 4 key things that we really need to understand. Your left hand is there for stability, and I use it like an anchor. So basically, my left hand will stay level with the floor, and it will basically move. It'll almost track your hip, and it will clear your racket, and it will stay on your hip. Now you do push your arms apart. It's quite funny. I'll see a lot of people really push their left hand out this way, and then their racket swing will be out that way. So that's not too bad, but what you can do is you can actually use that. You still use that push apart, but I use it more as an anchor. In other words, a real stable base to work from. And what you'll do is you'll get your left hand will move from here to here, but it'll also track this back hip. And so it'll maintain stability and everything as well. So if you make sure, you can push it out a little bit, but if you do push your left hand out, I'd only be pushing it out, say, from here, maybe out to there, somewhere there, but not out big time like you get some people do. So what happens is some people will push their arm out from here, like from the shoulder, so it'll be like an aeroplane when they finish, and it's just too big and too cumbersome. And you need to have everything, as you get better, when you get better, everything's about staying really stable, really centered around a center point, and not being big, in other words, staying compact. So what that means is that from your center of your body, your left hand is not far away, and from the center of your body, your right hand is not far away. So that means that your arms are not, I've got colored lines everywhere here. They're not out here and they're not out there. So everything is very centered. I'll put one more circle. Everything is really centered around a center point. So if you keep everything in, a bit too many lines there, so I'll get rid of them all. So if you keep everything relatively tight and keep it round a centered area and don't get too wide, things are not really strong when you're really wide on far away from your body. So the more you can keep your follow through, which is recoil, keep your wrist closer to your body, not push your arm out so far, keep your left hand in close to your body, not push it out so far, everything gets really neat. So your left hand, we'll just have a look at that again. It's pretty important, and it's amazing just how important it is. See your left hand, that reference between the elbow there and the hand is a great point to use. So that reference, I'll just give you that one really quickly, line. So that reference there between the elbow and the hand is really important. So if you get that, what that does is you have your left hand here and you bring your elbow back to your left hand, which gives you your body prep. And if you can do that, then it's just a wonderful thing to do. It goes really, really well. So we'll have a look at this, the left hand here. It stays relative to your hip and it finishes on your hip roughly here and there, and helps to track your body as you swing. Okay, the last of the key areas we're going to look at is your follow through. Now, I've got all sorts of lines on the screen again. So we've got the yellow line down the bottom there, or the orangey line. That goes around your body and then you swing out down the floorboard, and that's why I've gone and put that line there. So I'll explain it all just quickly. So what happens is we have this cuts around behind your body and then you swing out down the floorboard. Now I've put this line here, this one here, to say that's where the racket head is finishing. So what I'm saying is that if I turn my wrist over this way and the racket head was up here near the arrow, then what happens is that means that your swing would have gone from here, it would have gone around there with the racket head. We're trying to keep the racket head down the floorboard, which gives you control and consistency and wonderful outcomes, allows you to control depth. It just does so much. So by keeping this straight line here, this one here, it really makes a difference after you swing. So this is around your body, it's around your body, around your body, around your body, and then you straighten your follow through out down the floorboard, and that happens by keeping your wrist out and your elbow bent slightly. Okay, so swing path is towards the front wall. We want to finish around about shoulder height. Keep your arm bent on follow through. So let's see, a racket goes around behind your body and then you swing through down the floorboard. And then by lifting your elbow and keeping your racket head over towards the sidewall, the racket head stays down the floorboard and you finish it around about shoulder height. Now I've put shoulder height, this is a punch drive. So if I was to do a full drive, I'd basically finish up here, there, and the racket would be across this way somewhere there. So a punch drive means that you can actually use use a lot of core muscle strength to hit the ball. It's extremely accurate, and better players punch more often. Probably 70% of all drives, maybe 80% of all drives are done punch drives when you get to PSA level. So punch drive is core muscle hitting, if you don't understand it, and you should check out my punch driving video. But so if you finish around about, I love to finish around about waist height. So I'm basically saying that I like to finish around about this height, but if you can finish anywhere to this height and not with your racket out that way. So if you put your racket out that way, that's the area where you start hitting people and so on. So you really want to make sure that you got that all covered. So we're finishing around about shoulder to waist height, and sometimes you'll have a full swing, other times you won't have a full swing, but it will all come together for you once you understand what you like and how to work things. So here is your follow through. We go around your body here, we drive your body forward, everything great. We strike the ball and we lift the elbow, keep your racket pointing towards the sideboard, which keeps your racket head down the floorboard. Awesome results, and there you go. Okay, so there you go. There is our AI skeleton review of a backhand drive. This is more of a punch drive, but you can actually just do the same thing with your full drive. You'll just finish with your racket around about shoulder height. If you can do one thing for me, just let me know in the comments if you enjoy this kind of AI review with the skeleton, because I can just do these sort of videos at the drop of a hat. It's really quite simple for me right now. So I'll do all different swings, but just drop a line in the comments saying, yep, please do this swing or do that swing, and I'll do the same video similar to this with the 4 or 5 key areas, depending on what the swing is, and let you know what the most important thing is to actually to have those areas activated and key when playing a certain shot. So let us know which shots you want, and hope you enjoyed it.